the tulips with me.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're looking at the most erratic and unconventional musicians of all time.
Poo-poo ta-da-da and poo-poo ta-da-da.
Number 10, Bjork.
We'll implode inwards towards destruction.
Bjork is easily Iceland's most famous musician. She first rose to prominence in the 1980s as the lead singer of the Sugar Cubes, before achieving even greater success as a solo artist. Her music, known for its highly experimental and innovative edge, became increasingly eccentric over her first 3 albums and has remained consistently quirky.
Our species never cease.
Bjork's peculiarities extend beyond her music. Her art, videos, and fashion all stand out for their surreal aesthetic. Perhaps one of her most iconic looks was the swan dress she wore to the 2001 Oscars, which The Telegraph hailed as one of the most iconic red carpet looks. Bjork's fearless embrace of her peculiarity has made her a musical giant, inspiring countless fans globally with her unique vision.
So all that's on TV, it just goes directly into your brain and you stop judging if it's right or not. So you just swallow and swallow.
Number 9. Captain Beefheart. Captain Beefheart's most iconic work, Trout Mask Replica, produced by Frank Zappa and performed with his Magic Band, is as much a hot mess as it is a meticulously crafted masterpiece.
When she drives her Chevy, sissies don't dare to glance.
Beefheart wrote every song on piano in 9 hours, despite having never played the instrument before. Each instrumental part was transcribed, and the musicians played them as perfectly as they could. However, the recording process was grueling. At one point, the drummer was pushed down a flight of stairs for failing to play a strawberry. None of the parts were in sync, and Beefheart recorded vocals without hearing the instrumentals, resulting in music's most carefully composed mess.
Stop the show! I need to say hello to the crow.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The full story is too long to recount here. Number 8, Ozzy Osbourne. It's no exaggeration to claim that Black Sabbath and their frontman, the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, pioneered heavy metal. Since the band's monumental debut in 1970, Osbourne has gone on to become one of music's most significant and bizarre figures. There's an abundance of wacky stories surrounding the singer, like the infamous 1982 incident when he bit the head off of a bat on stage. A year earlier, a dove suffered a similar fate at his hands, reflecting his history of shocking acts involving animals.
Bark at the moon.
This behavior may trace back to his time working in a slaughterhouse, which likely desensitized him to animal cruelty. Another crazy story involved accidentally drugging a vicar after his wife unknowingly gave him a spacey cake.
I used to say when I was in my 20s, I'll be dead by 40. That was okay, I was 39 3/4. Maybe I'm going to stick around a bit longer.
Number 7, Sun Ra.
Come on, sign up without a space, Ways Incorporated.
Claiming to be a messiah sent from Saturn by cosmic beings to speak through music is quite a curious backstory for a musician, and is one of many reasons Sun Ra is considered so eccentric.
The people have no music that is in coordination with their spirits. Because of this, they're out of tune with the universe.
During his life, he composed more than 100 full-length experimental jazz albums. His music was unlike anything on Earth, creating sounds he believed aligned with the cosmos's vibrations. Sun Ra pioneered Afrofuturism, an aesthetic combining African culture with science fiction. He rejected his given name, racial identity, and earthly constraints and embraced an otherworldly persona as an act of liberation. Although he passed away in 1993, his legacy endures and his music will continue to inspire many for decades.
Along came
Number 6. Yoko Ono. Yoko is one of music's most polarizing figures, considered a misunderstood genius by some and despised by others. Contrary to popular belief, she didn't break up the Beatles, although she has made many questionable art choices, like putting John Lennon's bloodied glasses on an album cover. Much of the hostility she faces stems from racism and misogyny, but despite individual opinions of her, everyone agrees she's pretty peculiar. Ono is famous for her avant-garde scream, used as a way to express feelings words fail to convey. However, not everyone appreciates it. For example, she belted her lungs out while performing with Chuck Berry once, which was so out of place that the sound engineer muted her completely. Number 5. Michael Jackson. Rising to fame as one of the Jackson 5, the King of Pop became the most famous person in the world at the peak of his career. His eccentricity was a result of his unique and tragic upbringing, along with the isolation caused by his stardom. He had a childlike love for toys, cartoons, and animals, stemming from a desire to recapture the childhood he never had. This longing was reflected in his private amusement park, Neverland Ranch, where his moonwalking pet chimpanzee Bubbles lived. Known for his peculiar purchases, Jackson reportedly attempted to buy the Elephant Man's bones for $1 million, but his bid was rejected. His uniqueness as an artist has solidified him as one of music history's most fascinating figures. Number 4. Prince. Prince was a musician, performer, and cultural icon who cultivated an unconventional image that still stands out. A music prodigy, he seamlessly blended a multitude of genres and mastered several instruments. Prince was a Jehovah's Witness, which meant he would have gone knocking on strangers' doors, enlightening them about his faith.
There's supposed to be a separation of church and state over here. We can't have a separation of state and morality, though.
He took this work seriously, one time knocking on a Jewish household's door and insisting on finishing his message despite their disinterest. He also didn't believe in time, refusing to count his age.
Happy birthday to me. Say what?
In 1993, he created Glam Slam Ulysses, a funk-infused adaptation of Homer's epic. Prince was an icon who truly lived life on his own terms, which is something we can all look up to.
Come on, baby. Let's get down.
Number 3. Frank Zappa. In his own words, Frank Zappa never set out to be weird. It was always other people who called him weird.
I am the slime from your video. Can't stop the slime, people look at me go.
Zappa was a renowned band leader, guitarist, and composer who rejected norms and embraced unconventionality. One of his first TV appearances featured him showing how to play a bicycle, foreshadowing his unusual career. Zappa despised apathy and encouraged his fans to vote by putting registration booths at live shows. He also upheld artists' rights when in 1985 he testified at Congress in opposition to a proposed censorship law.
The establishment of a rating system, voluntary or otherwise, opens the door to an endless parade of moral quality control programs.
During his monumental speech, he famously said, "Bad facts make bad law," and contributed to blocking the passage of the bill. Decades after his death, he's still considered one of music's most innovative stars.
The torture never stops.
Number 2, David Bowie. One of the most celebrated musicians of all time, David Bowie constantly displayed boundary-pushing levels of creativity.
Is there life on Mars?
His eccentricity was a fundamental part of his artistic identity, with an unparalleled ability to constantly reinvent his image. From Ziggy Stardust to the Thin White Duke, he constantly transformed stylistically. There are countless stories highlighting Bowie's oddities, like the fact that he kept urine in his fridge to protect it from witches. Another is that while recording Station to Station, his diet was primarily peppers, milk, and narcotics. Bowie frequently challenged the industry standards, which has become an essential part of his lasting legacy. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Many struggle to understand how innovative Mozart was, with his music being over 200 years old now. During his life, many of his works were groundbreaking and also controversial. He was a peculiar person by the standards of any period. For instance, he once proposed to Aloysia Weber, who later gave him the cold shoulder. Outraged, he played a revenge tune, essentially telling her to kiss his behind.
Kiss my ass.
Emeram.
No, I'm
Just
not
say it.
playing
It's
this
serious,
game.
Emeram.
He later married her sister, whom he controlled obsessively, banning her from walking alone, going to casinos, and even restricting her bath time out of fear that she'd drown.
Please. Let me sit here. Let me stay here with you.
Mozart was rebellious for the era and will forever be remembered as one of history's most original composers. Who do you think takes the cake for being the oddest musician of all time? Let us know in the comments section. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.